Ew. Alright, so I'm very excited to talk to you today. The first submissions for me to critique have come in from Sutopat. What I've noticed about this artist is that he's very minimalist and very abstract, especially for my new series Glimpses. I encourage you to take a look at that and be inspired by that and send me your work. He's taken the idea and made it his own. I do want to take a moment to talk about my look today. It's very retro, very vintage, but also has that element of like futurism. I focused a lot on the eyebrows today. I didn't wear a lot of makeup anywhere else because I just really wanted those to pop today. And it's very in style right now, the eyebrows. It's very timeless, actually. So this first one that caught my eye, saying so much by saying so little, you know? All that we have is, you know, it has its limits. It brings up mortality, spirituality, and the very temporary nature of existence. This next one is very symbolic in many ways. This concept, I feel like, is representative of like children's struggle, like in a very suppressed society, very sheltered from the world and like the truth, you know? It's doing well to display that emotion. I feel the tension here. This next one is my personal favorite because of the very deliberate it's got a very strong sexual connotation as well. It's rather obvious. The subtleties of like the texture lend to the thought of, you know, the sensuality of the human body. Eroticism is very present here. It is about animal rights. I see that here. He's hashtagged that. And it leaves that interpretation to be had. But in this one, I really feel like it can be beyond some of you. But it's very explicit. It is saying some very controversial things about the human body specifically. Something that society says is ugly, you know, still can be a part of art. I find irony in this very much. So this next one is very like paradoxical. The reflection just adds that depth that is just so, it's like perplexing. I feel this weightlessness, actually. It is reminiscent of dreams. That effect is very painterly and very successful here. This next one speaks to me very strongly. It's heartbreaking, really. He hashtagged consumerism, where I can see that, but consumerism is such a broad topic and it's very hard to capture that, I know. It could even have that commentary on, you know, modernism and like death and resurrection and like the rising of new. I'm gonna skip this one. This one is, I think, a very deliberate composition. It's very solid, it's heavy. What I like most is that you can't tell what it is. You can tell like where it comes from, you know? I think that's a fascinating dialogue. I can tell tell that he has this tortured past. And lastly, I like to talk about this one. I like this one very much. I think my only nitpicking critique about this is that I think there's a lot of negative space. Maybe there's more to explore in that thought process, but to me it looks like a Mystique gives that message of consumerism and like the results of it as humanity, where we just are consuming greed, and I think it's very disgusting. There's a lot to be said about this concept. So that's it. Make sure that you submit to these places. Hashtag join the movement. Thanks for watching, and I hope you come back next time to find out what I've discovered about the universe next. This recalls a time where I actually ran out of toilet paper. We'll call it what it is, and it was really actually disturbing experience, that vulnerability that you feel. And it really made me realize like what women's lives must have been like, before it was invented. Now that toilet paper exists, it's like really there's no need for gender role, And I think that this has actually inspired me, to like live my life how I want to live, But like we can't really get into that in depth right now.